I have now invested in several real estate deals as a passive investor or limited partner with over multiple six figures amounts invested in these deals. And in today's video, I want to go over my first ever real estate deal as a passive investor that I did. And I want to give you my experience on how that went and how that is going and where that has led me today. But before we dive into my first ever passive real estate deal, I want to provide you a little background because if you are just coming across my channel, The Passive Income Therapist, I'm a physical therapist by trade, and I've always been into investing when starting through high school into college. And I've been investing in the stock market a long time, but I realized the wealthy have been accelerated, number one, their overall financial wealth with real estate, as well as they were able to help offset their income, especially passive income, when they get into the right types of real estate. So that is where everything really propelled me to where I've gotten myself into a position where I was starting to be able to invest in real estate. And the first big chunk of money that I made with investing in the stock market, I rolled that over into my first real estate deal. Like I just touched on, when the first time I made a big chunk of money with stock market investing, I had to figure out, number one, do I want to keep it in the stock market? Or number two, do I want to then diversify and go into real estate, where I've always wanted to try to invest and get into the game of real estate investing, because I've learned this is how the wealthy have been investing for years as well as decades. Now, when I made this big chunk of money in the stock market, I actually was in physical therapy school. I hadn't even graduated out of physical therapy school to be a physical therapist quite like I am today. So I had to figure out, number one, while I was going through school, how would I be able to invest in real estate deals without having to be the landlord and having to worry about the certain managing type of properties and the typical hassles and the type of activities it usually takes to be investing in directly with real estate investing. And so I was looking through, doing a lot of research for several months up to a year, and I figured out and came across what's called real estate syndications. And there are people just like you and me that are passively investing or partnering with other people that are doing real estate deals where they're going to be managing and doing all the acquisitions and doing all the day-to-day operations of the real estate. But there's also people that are going to be investors that are going to fund these deals, and they are going to be a silent partner or a passive investor, where you're going to be partnering with this person, and then in exchange for funding and partnering with that deal, you're going to get certain benefits with returns and potential tax benefits as well. But you yourself, as a passive investor or limited partner in these type of deals, you don't have to worry about all the operations aspects, and those are the general partners or the operators that you're going to be partnering with. So when I came across this aspect of passive investing and being a limited partner in these real estate deals, or officially real estate syndications, a light bulb went off for me, because I realized this is how the wealthy have been investing for decades, where they are not having to worry about managing all these type of assets in real estate, but they're able to partner with great groups and expert groups that are going to take down these larger scale deals. And then you are going to be getting returns, as well as even getting tax benefits and tax depreciation to help offset your income, as well as passive income gain. So once I realized I wanted to be a passive investor in these real estate deals, I then was trying to network and find other groups that are going to be doing these types of deals that, number one, are going to align with my interest, as well as align with my investing style, as well as goals. So going through several months and all the way up to a year, I had been networking for certain sponsors and seeing if we were going to mesh. And then finally, I came across my first real estate group where I was very, very comfortable and confident with them on their investing thesis, as well as the type of assets where they are going to be investing in. After connecting with this group, several months go by, and there have been several deals that I've actually come across through email and offerings, but for any sort of reason, I ended up passing on those deals. But then one specific deal came across, and I really liked it, and it was really intriguing. So diving through it, it was actually a triple net industrial deal where there's a single tenant that is actually a public job company on the stock market where they have been around for decades and having really a consistent type of company there. And I was really confident on their performances. Now, I have other videos going across the analysis and breakdowns when it comes to looking at specific real estate deals to analyze when you're looking at potential deals to invest with. But within this deal, I really like the return metrics as well as cash flow. And I realized on my first deal that I wanted to be a passive investor or limited partner. Number one, I really wanted to be confident in this deal that I'm going to be investing in because I really wanted to not necessarily hit a home run, but I wanted to make sure I was going to get a consistent type of asset that was going to be producing me income through cash flow and had that potential for getting appreciation on the back end. So once I felt confident with this type of deal for my first real estate investment as a passive investor, I then wired and funded that deal. And the next month, I started receiving cash flow checks where I was going to get a certain percentage of consistent cash flow every single month, where I didn't have to worry about the day-to-day operations and all the managing side of when it comes to investing in real estate that it typically does. But as a passive investor, I didn't have to worry about those aspects, and I was getting those monthly distributions where it's going to be a certain percentage on how I was investing with that capital. Now, this first ever real estate deal I invested in as a passive investor or limited partner happened in 2021. And fast forward today, where it's the last quarter of 2024, I have been receiving monthly distributions ever since the first month after that investment, where I'm getting a 9% return on my money, where I'm going to be getting a consistent cash flow check every month. And there's never been a capital call, even through these higher interest rate environments. And that distribution has actually gone up percentages as the deal has gone on. Now, one of the best perks that happened during my first investment as a passive investor with this real estate deal is actually, yes, I was getting consistent cash flowing returns every single month. But the biggest thing that I realized was that when I am investing in the right type of real estate, I was able to get what's called tax depreciation that's going to help offset your passive income gains. So think about it. If you're able to save, say, 20% or so on your passive income taxes that you're going to owe on your passive income gains, and you're able to save those, just think of how much more money that you would have to be able to then invest in other assets, as well as potentially your first deal, just like I did. So when I sat down with my CPA later on in that year after I invested in my first real estate deal as a limited partner or passive investor, I realized the huge benefits of what tax depreciation has to offer when looking at your passive income gains. The amount of tax depreciation that I got for investing in that first real estate deal that was actually able to help offset all of my passive income gains that I had for that year through the stock market. And this was a huge light bulb moment for me because as a first time real estate investor, as a limited partner or passive investor, I, number one, don't have to worry about all the day-to-day operations and the typical type of landlord activities that you have to do to be a direct owner of real estate. But as a limited partner, I'm able to partake in these bigger type of real estate assets where I'm going to be getting cash flow as well as appreciation, but also get tax depreciation to help offset my passive income gains. So this helped to accelerate me for when I'm investing in these certain type of real estate deals where I'm able to save on the taxes that you're usually supposed to owe with passive income gains, where then I'm able to save those amount of taxes and then roll it over into other assets for investments that are able to produce more cash flow as well as provide more appreciation to help grow my overall financial wealth. So after this first real estate deal as a passive investor where I'm getting consistent cash flow as well as helping use tax depreciation to help offset my passive income gains, I was absolutely hooked. And I realized this is how the wealthy have been, number one, growing their overall financial wealth through private ownership with real estate, but also helping use the tax code and using tax depreciation to help offset their passive income gains as well as income gains, to where that money that you are saving in the taxes, you are then able to put into other assets to produce overall more financial wealth. Now, I'm going to be diving into other real estate deals that I've been investing in as a limited partner in the future videos to come. But in today's video, I want to provide you a brief synopsis on how my first real estate deal went as a limited partner or passive investor in a real estate syndication. So I hope you're able to take away a little bit as far as my experience with my first ever real estate deal as a limited partner or passive investor. Now, if this interests you as being a limited partner or passive investor in these type of deals with real estate syndications, I really encourage you to follow along because I'm here to help educate you on how everyday people like you and me have been able to invest in these type of deals where the wealthy have been utilizing for decades to produce, number one, great returns, as well as use tax benefits to help offset your overall passive income gains and income gains. So if this interests you, I hope you follow along because I'm here to help educate you on how I have been really utilizing real estate as a passive investor and accelerate my overall financial wealth. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.